So, it's a reasonable request.
I guess that's fine. It's not everyone is just going to know who we are off the jump, and it's fine.
I know. Oh God, are we still recording?
Are we still recording? It's been a minute.
Man, it has been a minute.
Forgot to turn it off again. Well, in that case, hey everybody, I'm Lyndsey.
I'm Jordyn.
And this is Are We Still Recording? A podcast about a podcast.
About a podcast. About a D&D podcast.
A D&D podcast. The best kind of podcast there is.
Yeah. This is an episode where we are driving, just as FYI for everyone. And the only other thing I wanted to kind of talk about at the beginning is that you may have noticed, if you followed us along this journey, you may have noticed that the background has been different AI art. Again, I don't really support AI art. I'm really just wanting to get videos up, and therefore I am using it. So if you have other art that you want to use instead, I'd love that. But I thought it was entertaining because some of these images really aren't very good for a couple of different reasons, and I found that entertaining.
Absolutely, it's super fun. It's a placeholder. It's something nice to have until something more beautiful comes along. And
Exactly.
I would never rag on your AI art abilities.
Oh no, although
it's the AI art.
I have. So hopefully by the time this episode gets posted, I'll have done it. But my goal as of right now is going to be to try to actually use our art for Phoebe and Sylvie and see if I can have the AI art make that.
And just see if it can spruce it up and make it.
And see if it can actually figure out what a tiefling is.
Yeah, because something that we've discovered is AI does not know tieflings. It does not understand the concept of a tiefling.
Nope.
Which honestly, how cute
it doesn't understand the concept of diversity.
No,
either.
It does not. AI is kind of dumb. They don't know how many fingers people have.
Oh yeah.
No.
So anyway, all that to say, it won't be forever. Hopefully it won't be forever. But I don't necessarily support it. I know it's not great art, and that's kind of the point.
And I can't draw. I'm trying to learn how to draw specifically for this purpose because I want character art more than anything in the entire world. And so I guess it's time that I just buck up and do it myself.
I can do a really cool stick figure.
I have the basic concept of what a face is supposed to look like,
yeah.
And maybe make it relatively proportional.
Nope.
Facial features? Absolutely not.
Nope. I won't be able to do that.
No. I can do cute little squinty eyes. I've got that all day.
So,
but we're just gonna see.
We'll get there eventually. But it's been a couple of days since we played D&D.
Mm-hmm. Been a crazy week, but
it has been.
It was a crazy evening in D&D as well. So
we're gonna do our best to try to do one of these for every D&D podcast. That may not happen just because of our life. But so last session we basically started at the end of combat.
Yeah.
After bringing Galileo back, we're on the island, we're in the cave, and we leveled up. We leveled 10 to 11 this time.
Yeah.
And then, because that's when you got 6 level spells.
Yeah. And I was able to ask a tree very nicely to let us through so that we did not have to get back on the ocean.
Yeah, which Gizzo was not a fan of.
Oh, I felt so sad.
But that was a choice.
Yeah.
It's not like we were bye, we never want to see you again.
We hate you, go away. It was just hey buddy, you can come with us, but you have to leave your boat.
Yeah, he was.
And he said, that is a fate worse than death, and I won't be doing that, actually.
Yeah, so, by the way, I guess first talking point on that, I'm really excited for the concept of transport via plants.
Me too.
Leveling with you so you can do more
make it cooler and weirder.
Yeah, you can do more more complex, I'm going to move through a group of kelp instead of I'm going to walk through a tree and I'm going to sail a whole. I think that's such a great concept.
Was such Matthew leaned over and he's like, what if you did this? And I'm like, oh fuck.
And it never hurts to ask.
No. Right? And that was us going out on a limb and being I know that technically,
That's not how this works.
you have to walk through the stalk of a thing. But also, wouldn't it be cool if we like black pearled up out of the ocean on the shore of the Twilight Accords Island where we're going?
Yep.
I should name that island, probably.
I mean, you don't have to.
It's not technically mine. Well, it's not also anyone else's.
It probably has a name. Whatever.
It's fine.
That's a future problem.
But,
I guess it's
like,
technically anyway.
Yeah, the more that we can stretch transfer via plants and, like, the weirder we can get with it, the more, like, I would love to walk through a wreath of stuff.
Yep. I think that would be great. So I love that idea. I love that concept. And I hope that that's something that we can do. And I've never really thought about it before because I don't think we've never that.
No.
Because, I mean, Deegan we got to level 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm. 13 feels right.
In campaign 2. So technically Deegan would have had this, but we never had a reason to use it.
There was it was panic and chaos from start to finish in campaign 2.
That's true.
We slept like 3 times.
It does feel that way. Probably 12 times, 1 for each level. Like that was probably it.
You get 1 long rest per level.
Yeah,
it was grueling.
It really was.
But it was fun.
It really was.
I was like thinking back on it this week. It's just like, fuck.
I'm so grateful that was the campaign I chose not to play a spellcaster.
Yeah. Great first D&D campaign. Great to just jump in with, the DM is trying to kill us.
He went, because campaign 1, he was so generous with us. But it was only 4 players. Then campaign 2, there were 6, and he was like, this is too many, must murder.
I've got to
thin the herd a little bit.
Thin the herd so they have to keep learning new characters. Because if they get synergy, nothing will survive.
It's true.
And then campaign 3.
Yeah. So anyway, we're on an island. And so you decided to do transport via plants instead of us, because here was the risk, right? The risk versus reward on this was we may have to cast 1 6-level spell, or do we sail for 6 more days where we may have to cast
several more spells?
Exactly. So how many times are we going to have to roll? Do we just have to roll 1 time and hope that we roll? I mean, it's a 12% chance. Or do we go and do this exploration for a few different times? So that was kind of our thought process.
And, like, I always feel bad for, like, time skipping. Because, like, he probably had something else that was designed to kill us in the ocean. Like,
I don't know. Probably. Yeah. But I don't really feel like any of our campaigns have been really, like, focused on
travel.
No. In campaign 1, we had, like, 100-day journey. But we just basically said, what are you doing on that 100-day journey? Let me know next time and we'll do some rolls. And so it was like an hour or so in the session that we like talked about it, but like it was not a major.
Yeah. We're not like a travel heavy party.
No.
And like,
I prefer it to not be travel heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Humblewood, like I tried not to like
it. No, Humblewood was the perfect amount of we're walking on a road and the thing happens and then we're at the place.
Yeah.
Like it was
that's pretty much all I want.
Event done.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I want. So I mean, like, anyway, so I don't think that there was any concern about that.
No,
it's just a fact that it's going to take us 10 days to get there if we travel by sea, and at the moment, that's the only way we had to travel.
And then suddenly,
we didn't.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So we did. We transported via plants, and Gizzo sailed away on his giant boat.
I'm sorry, Gizzo.
I'm sorry, Gizzo. But that's okay.
We'll see you later. I also, like, I don't want an ancient werewolf pirate captain, like, as an enemy.
No.
I hope that we're chill.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna, like, patch that up. But, like, I had that thought when we started recording. I'm like, oh no, what if he hates us now?
I guess we'll have to see.
I have a lot of anxiety about that.
Yeah. So we transported via plants.
But a thing happened while we were transporting via plants. And Mans was very adamant about who was going first through the portal and who was going last through the portal. And Grimoire went last, and he felt as though something pushed him. And that doesn't feel good.
We should probably preface, although again, hopefully you guys are watching the D&D episodes and aren't purely relying on our warm-up or summary, but if you are, that's fine.
Yeah, because like we're good at it.
We're happy to do it too.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say though is when the combat was over and we were in the cave, Xerxes, we got to talk about that too. Although I don't have my notes because we were driving.
Yeah.
But Xerxes looked further into the cave, saw some skeletons, and said that that something else lives here. We should not stay here forever.
Yeah.
So there was, and then Galileo, Runeberg? Someone.
Felt a wind.
Felt a breeze. Yeah.
I think it was Galileo.
I think it was Galileo.
Yeah.
Felt a breeze and was like, we got to get out of here. And so we like left Lickety Split. And then Grimoire felt this push.
So something has followed us from this island. And then, we emerge on the beach on the Twilight at the Court Island, and Runeberg hears laughter fading into the distance. And like, so a ghost has been, but not a ghost.
Not a ghost, because Raj
didn't see it.
Raj did Eyes of the Grave and did not see any undead. Now, I didn't do anything with my divine sense because Runeberg was the only one who heard the laughter. Grimoire's the only one who felt the push. And Galileo's the only one who felt the breeze, but he told us about the breeze, but we were not told about the push, or at least I don't remember being told about the push. And we definitely weren't told about the laughter because I specifically was like waiting to be told about it, wasn't told about it, so I didn't do divine sense. So it could be something else. We didn't have any other issues though.
No, it's just creepy.
Yep.
It's just creepy for now.
Yeah.
Which is like concerning for the campaign 3 party, obviously.
Sure.
But being introduced to Cygnus, and you guys let a not ghost, we let a not ghost into her house. And it's like, okay.
I mean,
it's fine.
I'm pretty sure if anyone can handle a not ghost in her house, it's going to be Cygnus.
Yeah.
You guys have like how many clerics on there?
It's big. It's a lot. You're
gonna be fine.
Everyone has
turn undead.
Yeah.
Everyone has turn undead. It's not undead. But everyone has these things. And you have paladins. And Victor is also an Oath of the Watcher's paladin, unless that's changed. So he also has Abjure, the extra planar.
So I think...
So you guys are... It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. It's okay. Nothing... It's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. So we get there. It's a pretty relaxed environment. When we get there, the guards are welcoming. They're kind of just like a check-in station. They're not like barring people since they are accepting refugees. They lead us we let them know that we need to speak to Cygnus and Victor. They lead us to a tavern to kind of wait because they're busy because Victor, they were leaving on a boat to come rescue us.
Listen, Phoebe made a phone call and then forgot to follow up about the phone call and be like, between sessions, I literally thought about it every day.
Yep.
And I was like, when you start the session, the first thing you need to do is cast sending and tell Victor,
so funny. Just
kidding, we're actually fine and we handled it.
It was so funny.
But they were sending out search parties for us, which is nice.
It is nice. It is lovely to know that you were recognized and cared about.
And even if I wasn't recognized, they were like, somebody's in trouble, we gotta go.
I love that.
We gotta get out there and help.
I love that.
That's the vibe.
Love it.
Call for help. We got a boat.
Yeah.
We'll be there in a second.
Yeah. So I thought that was great. So called him back. Called them back and said, oh, just kidding.
JK.
That was us, RB.
Sorry.
But they were busy, so we kind of like hung out in a tavern, did some like tavern games, like drank. Oh my god. The octopus or squid.
I don't want to talk about it.
Was it a squid or an octopus?
About it. It was a squid. And Raj cast Speak with Dead on it because it still had a head.
Well, they kept asking us, do you want it alive or dead? And it was like, I definitely don't want it alive.
If it had come to the table alive, Phoebe would have put it in her bag, like her druid bag, and been like, there's got to be a fish tank in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Or at least water in a large container.
Yeah.
So now this is my friend squid.
Yeah. It was not alive. It had a big gash in its head. And Raj can't speak with dead.
Don't talk to the calamari, kids. Like, it's not going to feel good, but it's funny.
It was horrifying.
Horrifying and hilarious at the same time. But like me in real life, if calamari comes to the table and instead of being the little calamari rings, it's a little tiny squid, I will send it back and I will not eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sylvie didn't after that whole encounter, which you definitely have to watch because it's very funny.
It's a lot. A lot of screaming.
Yeah.
The squid did do some screaming.
Well, Graymore was still cutting into it as he's having this existential crisis, realizing he's dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, played some tavern games, all that kind of stuff. Some fancy man, some little fancy gnome came
Fancy
in.
little gnome man, J.R. Timbers.
J.R. Timbers came in and seemed very, like, busy. He just gave off a busy vibe. Yeah. He wasn't rude or anything like that. No one at the Accord has been rude. It was just, he seemed very busy. And, but basically we set up a meeting, got good vibes off of him. Sylvie was a little evasive, but that's specifically because she had the letter on her and she didn't want to be caught with her pants down with someone that we couldn't trust.
Yeah.
And didn't want, like, so that's why she was being evasive. Anyone was like, you played that like a shitty person. I played it because I didn't want her. She didn't want to get caught with a letter on her and someone take it and get disintegrated. Like, I'm also a rogue, but
that
I rolled a 32 stealth.
Like how that was perfect. And like it's one of those things that like you're walking into a not like a completely strange place, but like a strange-ish place that you don't know. And a guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm your man." Are you? Do I know you? And like it's mentioned in an episode, like it in the lore of the Accord, like he's pretty far up there.
Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like we maybe would have. That's where I was like, have we heard about this guy? Because if we've heard about him or seen him before, and can just like, and I mean, Sylvie's an inquisitive rogue, so like I like to use her insight checks as like they're intelligence based and not wisdom based because she's not getting. I call them vibe checks because it's funny, but she's not really getting a vibe. She's reading body language. She's looking for tics. She's looking for like how to read someone. So like if someone exactly, so like trying to kind of see, and it was him. He was fine.
He's just busy. Sets up a meeting for us. So we get some downtime. Raj and Graymore have a moment. And we find out... I forgot about that.
We find out that Graymore's sixth personality is not his personality, but actually him keeping the memory of Honorian alive.
Which hurts. It hurts so deep. And it hurts for...
So Honorian, we're not going to go deep dive into it today because there will be a C2 deep dive lore. Honorian is Spin's Campaign 2 character, lovingly called Baldy, whose name is Honorian and is actually Eldaron's twin. And so he died at the end of Campaign 2, could not have his soul returned, which I think we all found out together because I think that episode will be up, so you should know that by now. That he refused, his soul was not willing to return to his body.
He chose not to come back because he thought that because he released the Chained Oblivion that like it was better if he didn't. And like Lyndsey, furious. Cygnus receiving that message will burn the galaxy to the ground.
Yeah, I was just gutted. I was just gutted with that.
Yeah. That was an episode of like, how many times can we traumatize Lyndsey in 5 minutes?
It's true. It was too many.
It was
too many
times. It happened so many times.
It did. So anyway, we find out that the sixth personality is not actually a personality, but instead is his memory of Honorian keeping him alive. So he's got a part of Honorian with him. And we also found out some really big shit.
Mm-hmm.
Really big shit. So first big realization is that the reason that Greymore has a split personality is because he split the blue-eyed, the controlled version of Greymore, which I thought was Purple Eyes.
I did too, but I think that like someone said
it.
blue-eyed and then everyone ran with it.
So,
like that was the vibe I got.
Either way, it's the controlled Greymore.
Yeah.
The mind-controlled Greymore that's was resurrected by Lolth. Split his personality to save him because he said if she controls all of us, we're lost. If she only controls me and you can keep me away from her, then you can still live.
And then he was like, well, do we have to kill that part of my personality? And Honorian was like, probably. But he doesn't want to do that. And he wants to, from what I got, he wants to find a way to reconcile with himself, which is beautiful.
It is. I mean, because he said he might lose part of himself, which is such a huge, like, what a huge moment.
Yeah, like, even in real life, not everybody likes all the bits of themselves.
No.
But, like, you don't want to kill it. You want to reconcile it.
Yeah.
It's part of, your bad feelings are part of you, too. And that is your Lyndsey therapy moment for the day.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
So that was the first big thing, which I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Jesus Christ.
I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Me either.
So we'll see where that goes. The second big thing is that Raj had a commune moment. He had a moment with the RQ.
He did not cast commune.
No.
He just communed.
Exactly. Had a moment with the RQ. And in that, she basically said that she can see her end coming. And she can also see Raj's end coming. And she thinks that they will probably go together. There was some implication about us potentially having an end as well.
That it's more than likely the whole party.
Yep. And it seems like, and this has always been a thing, the RQ has always given Raj a choice. Has always given him the option. Do you want to continue with me? You may not live as long, but you may get something important done, is kind of the vibe. And so she basically said, like, are you and your party willing to die for this? And I will say, this is not the first time we've been asked that.
No, like Jace asked you that.
Yep.
The RQ asked Raj that before. Am I missing one?
Did Cygnus and Victor ask us that later?
Yes.
So we've been asked that 3 times now. And so, I mean, like, our party is pretty resolved.
Absolutely.
With this.
Yeah.
But it was a really beautiful moment because the RQ, our party has had some, like, ups and downs with her, specifically Cygnus.
Oh, yes.
But, I mean, she's been very honest, open, and
I feel like she's grown since Cygnus left her champion, left her service.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of that. And so it kind of ended with this really beautiful moment of, you know, Raj accepting his fate and understanding, and I think accepting the fact that our fates are all kind of entwined with whatever happens here.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the major part of that.
Which is dire.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, but like that, like it's all spinning forward very quickly. Yeah. And like we know about the length that the campaign is going to be.
Yep.
We've heard it discussed. And so like we know that we are racing towards something.
Yep. Okay, so after Raj and Greymore had their moment, Galileo has not yet had a moment. He wanted to, but did he? I guess we'll wait to see what happens, but he obviously is going to want to look for a shard.
Yeah. But if he is exhausted, that's really, really interesting point to bring up because like, is the pull going to feel as strong? Like, is he going to still get that like bing on his readout? Like, hey, you're close. Like exactly like that. Like something's close. We'll see. Definitely something to like keep an eye out for. Because it feels like feels important.
Yeah, just a little.
Just
for him to finish the puzzle of himself. So we'll hopefully get to that next time. He's exhausted now from entering God mode earlier in the day, so he's not able to do that at the moment. And then Sylvie wanted to find the brothel, not to go to before the meeting, but to go to after.
Just to know that it was there. And so we created a brothel on the spot because my friend asked, "Can I have this thing?" And I said, "Yes, you can." Absolutely.
You're like, "It's a monastery." I'm like, "It's a refugee camp right now." So
but like I feel like it's a pretty sex positive monastery.
For sure.
Yeah. And so I like it, the name of the brothel is The Whale.
Hilarious.
Which is funny. And like the Moulin Rouge vibe that you brought up, like that's brilliant.
I was like, listen.
What if it looks like
shaped
this?
like a whale, and you get to go into the whale? I was like, come on, that's cool. Pause. Like, that's super cool. I mean, I love Moulin Rouge. I love the Moulin Rouge vibes. So, I mean, like, you know.
And like, what if the upper floor is the one that you walk into, and that's like the mouth, and then
that's great.
The downstairs is kind of like.
Yes, Lyndsey, what's the downstairs like of the whale?
I was waiting for the GPS to do the. I was giving it a second so I could hopefully have a reprieve. But like the downstairs would be the tail, and that's it's the tail. Upstairs is like a very classy like cocktail bar.
Yeah, and I think that like that's fine.
That's fine.
But yeah, so
everybody's got needs.
It's gonna be a fade to black because obviously we're not explaining any of that stuff. That's just not our vibe.
No.
But anyway, and again, I mean, Sylvie has lay on hands, so she can cure diseases, and she is immune to disease. So
yeah, perfect.
I always like my paladins to do a little good in the world.
Absolutely. Spreading light, spreading healing.
Although after the next little bit, yes, Lyndsey. What else is my paladin spreading?
Legs. Anyway.
Hilarious.
Oopsie poopsie.
Oopsie poopsie indeed. So I think though after the next part, because that was just like, yes, this exists, fantastic. After the next part though, I think she's gonna need a gym and not a brothel.
Agreed.
So then we met Victor and Cygnus. I think that's the next part.
I mean, yep, the J.R. Timbers collected you and walked you up the Airy Tower. I don't think we mentioned the name, but that is the name. It's the Airy Tower.
You did mention it in the...
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I remember trying to spell it, and I was like, I'm spelling it like Airy, like the bra company, and I don't actually know if that's
correct. That is correct. Yes, that is.
Great.
Yes.
That's what I wrote.
Because like, I feel like that just like is the name, like that is the word.
I don't know. It might be. I don't even think I knew that was a word.
Oh, but that, I mean, yes.
I believe you, obviously.
Yes. So walked them up the Airy Tower, and escorted them, but left them at the door, as this is kind of like Victor and Cygnus's private sitting room. It's kind of like their living room.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like a nice place for them to go and like discuss things away from like all of the members of the Accord and all of the members that are kind of like higher ups.
Sure.
And just to talk to each other.
Sure.
And like centralize the planning and the message that or the project or whatever they're trying to accomplish. So it's like it's a nice little back away from everything spot.
And it's open, the sides are all open, but it's warded, so it's not...
So one of the sides is open.
Oh, one of the sides is open.
Yeah,
okay, I had the impression that all of them are open.
That's how I had it planned originally, but Bill was like, okay, but hold on, what if? It was like it circles around, and then that one side that like overlooks the courtyard is open.
Okay.
So, but the other side is like bookshelves with trinkets and a big fireplace and a hearth and a tapestry, and so like it's kind of...
That feels more homey.
Yeah, it's nice. But that's kind of the room as it stands. If anyone has read the Akatar series, getting kind of the top of that tower in the House of the Wind.
House of Wind. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like that was the first inspiration for it.
Okay.
Because that just like that bit was so pleasing to me. But yeah, so the message was delivered faithfully and truthfully.
Yes. And so the message was a two-part message.
Yes.
The first part was basically like, we have a plan to get into basically the ruins of the Cobalt Soul in Rexentrum.
Mm-hmm.
And then there they believe that there is a map that still remains of Gordranus in order to find another way in.
So like this, it is a snatch and grab, like go in, sneak, snatch and grab mission.
Correct.
Which is super duper exciting to me.
Yep.
Like, have we done a mission like that?
No, because the only like rogue stealthy type mission we were going to do was the peace talks.
And
well, I mean, the one thing that we did do was getting Skippy, getting the light.
That's true. And that was pretty sneaky.
That was as sneaky as we could have been.
Yeah.
So, and I think we did a good job.
Absolutely. You walk into a house full of ghosts.
Yeah.
We did our best. They've got eyes everywhere.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be fun. Going to go in the ruins, and so we'll have that information. So that'll be good. And then the second part, though, was kind of implying that in order for if we get the map, we're going to have to basically have a big distraction so that everyone can come.
Yeah. There would be a distraction at the front gate of Gordranus to draw everyone out of the city so that our current party can sneak in the back way.
Correct.
And we're assuming that the distraction would be an amalgamation of our campaign 1 and campaign 2 characters, assuming.
Right.
That's kind of what it's shaping up towards.
Well, and Raj had the vision.
Yes.
A few sessions ago.
It's like, where am I getting this picture? And I could not remember it.
It's because Raj had a vision.
Yeah.
That basically showed Jazz, Eldaron, Mads, Rundar fighting at the front, and I think we were all going down.
Everyone kept going down, but they were getting raised immediately.
True.
So they were coming up and then going down.
Yep. So there was something. I don't know if that's the RQ's part. I don't know, but it was basically implied that we're going to need a big distraction, and there was kind of like an open-ended question mark there.
Yeah, like you inviting Victor and Cygnus to be part of the distraction, but make sure your houses are in order.
Correct.
Before doing this, because it's probably not going to end well for most of us.
Anyone who's not a god.
Anyone who's not a god, or people who are, because with the RQ being like,
that's
I kind of see the end of my tale. So like, what if that's her end?
Sure.
Like, what if? Because I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? But like, it's a lot of information to deliver, and it's a lot of information to receive. And be like, hey, and like, what I was trying to communicate with my response was like not taking it lightly, but like lightening the mood, trying to be like, oh my god, what a message. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's talk about it. Like, let's talk about how you guys are feeling currently about your position within the end of the world.
Sure.
And where Cygnus was coming from is like, she's lived for a long time. And like in campaign 2 started with most of our characters being kidnapped. And we were not given a choice as to like the fate that we were kind of like not pigeonholed into, but like our choices were taken away from us. And we had to fight to get out and survive and then do all the stuff that we did. And seeing that, and then seeing this young party come in and think that they're pigeonholed into a fate, but wanting to be like, no, you guys, you do have a choice right now at this very moment. Because, and like, Cygnus is older. Most of the party is younger. And they've got so much time. Or they could have so much time. And that's where I was coming from with it. Is like seeing these lives that could have room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But are being asked to not do that. And
Well,
to not grow.
Yeah, and that's the third time that we've been basically asked that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yep.
It
could go in a direction.
Well, we know where we're going.
We know where we're going.
I mean, and our party, again, I mean, every time we've been asked, are you okay with dying? Are you okay with this? You can turn around at any point where, like,
everybody's like, yep.
I clearly don't want to do that. Stop asking me and get out of my way.
Yeah.
So, like, especially, like, I think the number of times that Cygnus said comfortable.
Yes.
Every time just kept, like, raising Sylvie's temper.
I got that.
About, like, how many fucking times can you tell me that you're living comfortably when I don't know if my mom and dad are alive?
Exactly.
And I don't want to live comfortably. I want to know if my parents are alive, and I want to fucking do something. I don't want to sit behind a glass wall and watch the world burn.
Exactly. And to be frankly honest with you, I ran out of words.
That's fair.
I locked in on a word, and I didn't mean to say it as many times as I did.
So many times.
I know, but, like, my brain was like, this word it's there, and, like, it's easy to pull out of my pocket, and then I was like, I pulled it out too many times. Fuck. And, like, yeah, no, absolutely. But, like, that's where Cygnus was coming from with that. Is, like, y'all are so fucking young. And she's sad. And, like, she sees her party. And she's like, don't. Like, if I can fix it this time. What if I can fix it this time?
Sure.
And that's why when Sylvie was like, well, are you going to help us or not? It's like, of fucking course I'm going to help you. Anything.
No, and she was literally just like, are you guys going to take us to Rexentrum? Because that's literally all we're asking to do. Like, don't ask us about the end of the world. We're focusing on step 1 of the plan, and that's what we have.
We're going to do step 1 first.
I have no control over the distraction part that's happening. If you want to join, or if you want to sit behind in your comfortable little living room, I don't really give a shit. Can you take me to Rexentrum? Great. Have a nice fucking day. You guys can handle the rest of it with the people who are above our pay grade.
Exactly. And,
it
like,
fucking ain't us.
That makes sense as, like, a party that's been, like, tasked to do things. It's like, we're just here to complete the mission.
Right. When she was like, you guys keep bringing dire news, and I was like, don't shoot the messenger.
That's never the goal.
Like, we're literally just the messenger, just waiting for the next step of the plan. We know what talents we have, and we're ready to go serve it, and we're ready to serve this purpose.
Mm-hmm. And this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And, like, it was, I will say, like, it was so hard, because it's like, I don't know how, the difference between Cygnus and Phoebe is so wide.
Yep.
Like, there was no way to flip between the two, and it's also like, I don't know how to have a conversation with myself in that way from two, like, that would probably take me a while, and I don't want anyone sitting there listening to me talk for that long.
Fair.
Because I would have to do a lot of workshopping with myself to make that work. Oh, yeah, no, I would, there's just so, because, like, Phoebe is all in on the mission, but I will say, like, jumping into her perspective, it's like, I do feel like, at this point in time, like, she would be, like, now that she's heard it a couple times, is starting to get a little bit nervous.
Okay.
But trying to, like, cover that up and be like, nope, everybody else is stalwart, everybody else is into this, so if they're going, I'm going, and if Sylvie's going, I'm going, and I won't, like, not going isn't an option, but there's definitely that, like, okay, so the stakes have always been high, but, like, they're becoming more known and more visible, and it's like you can see the wall that you're driving towards, and you're not hitting the brakes. You're going to hit the wall, and you have to be okay with that.
Well, and we haven't talked about it as a group yet.
Yeah.
So, like, especially like without people just staring at us waiting for an answer.
Just
like we haven't had time to sit down and just like talk about it.
Workshop it together.
But we've got a day or two now.
Yeah.
So we have a day or two to kind of talk about like our options. Because like we're not doing the distraction at the front gate. So like quite frankly, that ain't us.
No.
Like Victor and Cygnus can talk to Jace and talk to Xerxes and talk to the Sanctuary of Bahamut. They can do whatever they need to, but that ain't us.
And it's like I'm all in for it. I want to play with the level 19 cleric. Like I want to see that in a fight.
Yeah, so I mean, we can see what that looks like.
Yeah.
But so we can talk about it and with the group and kind of see if everyone feels the same or if everyone, I mean, like, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, like we don't really have, we can't just not do the story that's being told, you know?
Right, I mean, like, because if we get there, and I mean, Sylvie wants to do this. She wants to put, like, Asmodeus and all of them back. Oh, the other part was that there's a weapon.
Yes.
There's a design for a weapon or a weapon. I'm not sure if it's the design or if it's just the actual weapon, but there is something that can lead to putting the betrayers and everyone back behind the Divine Gate.
Yeah.
So I guess the Divine Gate is down.
Yes.
So, because that was something that I was unclear about, but the way that he worded it,
yeah, that's where I got confused.
Implied that it was down.
Yeah.
So that's something that we can certainly look into. So we have a few things that we have to go get, but we can always go get the information for them and go, hey man, like,
that was
I'm out.
So scary, and we're cool now.
Like, I'm out.
And it's like also with the, you know, the D100s that we're rolling with every spell that we cast. The campaign could end at any time.
Yep.
The campaign could literally end at any time.
Yep.
And that's also out there. Like,
I mean, and I guess that's a great point. And then I just had a thought as well. I mean, maybe if our characters or if some of our characters don't want to go on the mission, maybe we could we can always roll other characters, right? Like that's always an option. But we can always, like, maybe having characters that don't have magic would be better.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So I mean, like, not that Sylvie has a ton, but I don't know if her paladin stuff, if her class abilities, if they can sell them.
Yeah, like what would a strike team look like? Because like when I was trying to like think from Cygnus's perspective, it's like the Cobalt Soul and the Sanctuary of Bahamut have sent these younglings, for lack of a better word. Do they not have other people that are more older? Maybe some like bomb squad people that are like at the end and they're ready to go and they've lived their lives and they're cool with it. Like, do they not have anybody else? So like what would a bomb squad look like?
So do you guys not know then that Galileo is the Luxon?
No.
Okay.
No. Like we don't have that information.
Okay.
Like maybe like we got a ping that's like, hey, the Luxon would like to go somewhere else, but like Mans hasn't mentioned it. Mans hasn't mentioned that like Cygnus's pockets lighting up. Like, you know,
you guys should probably reach out to him about that. So you
Absolutely.
can figure that out. Just because obviously the reason that we're doing this is because 1, Sylvie has Cobalt Soul information.
Yeah.
And 2, we have Galileo. And 3, you guys are a team. We're a team that we all trust.
Exactly.
Like that's why we're going. But
but that was one of my thought processes, because and like just purely from a storytelling point of view, like if I may have had Cygnus for too long and it's easier to just like get into her headspace,
sure,
you know, and it's like how would she view this versus how campaign 3 views this.
Sure.
So like
I don't know.
I'm shrugging. That doesn't read well on an audio media.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, well, I guess we'll kind of see then. Well, what other points did we want to discuss?
Talked about the talks. Talked about the brothel. Where the weird laughter came from and is going.
Maybe nowhere. Maybe it was just freak us out.
Maybe it was just to shake us up a little bit.
A little pixie or something.
Just something weird and chaotic is now around. And it's like, well, where... And if you'll allow me to rabbit hole for just like a hot second. So, in Critical Role, Bell's Hells went to the Shattered Teeth to do Titan stuff. Correct?
Correct.
We're in the Shattered Teeth currently.
Uh-huh.
And if I am correct in my thinking, one of the, not the offspring of the Titans, but something similar to that were the Eidolons.
Okay.
So
I don't remember these.
It was in the like the Laudna and Bordor group when they split.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the things that like that town had originally prayed to instead of the Dawnfather.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure they were called Eidolons.
Okay.
And they're like nature spirits.
Okay.
And so like if I'm theorizing wildly, it's like, what if it was one of those? Like, what if it's like a Titanic nature spirit or an Eidolon that has followed us in, that was maybe trapped on that island, but then we gave it an out?
Okay.
Yeah. Just to theorizing wildly.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be neat. Maybe it's nice.
Maybe. Maybe they prayed to him. Hopefully they were nice.
And they seemed nice. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But they seemed just like chill nature spirits. So like, not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not bad at all. Maybe it's actually fine. But yeah, that's my point. Those are all of my points.
I have one other thing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wait because I asked Mans about something on Monday night and I need clarification.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Stay tuned.
But I'm 99% sure I'm right.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll go from there. What was that cliffhanger there? Other clarifying things that we got were that the natural 20 we couldn't remember about was when Mans was rolling to either hit Runeberg or Sylvie, and he rolled to hit Runeberg. He rolled a natural 20 to choose to hit Runeberg, and then rolled a natural 1 on his attack against Runeberg. So that was a natural 20 that we missed.
The dice were in our favor for one moment.
Yes. And I think that was the only other clarifying thing that I had.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
That's it. That's all we have for now.
Thank God it's Friday, because that means we get to play D&D in 3 days.
3 days. So
we're almost there.
We'll be there. Perfect timing.
All right. We did it.
Bye.
Bye.